Margret helps folks backstage. She helps us, know what we're doing and when to come out, and she gives us all towels and helps us out. And now I want her to share some of her story with you. Would you please give her your full attention?
Thank you, New Life family. For those of you who don't know me, like he said, my name is Margret Davis. And I was just living a normal life, going to work every day, playing hard on the weekends, enjoying life with my husband. But on November 21st of 2019, my brother-in-law was killed in a car accident. So that day, it was very hard for our family. And 9 days later, we laid him to rest. That day that was full of heartbreak and sorrow and grief was going to turn out to be the worst day of my life. After my brother-in-law's funeral, my husband wasn't feeling well. And when we got home, he decided to go and lay down. I was on the phone with my brother, talking to him for about 10 minutes, and then I went to go check on him. And I found him dead from a heart attack. So what was my normal, comfortable life became a living nightmare for myself. Being in shock and disbelief, I couldn't believe how this was happening to my family. 31 years of my life was instantly gone. I had this big gaping hole in my heart. I just didn't know how to go on. And I had friends who told me to trust God and he would see me through this. But how could I trust a God I didn't even know? I lost my desire to live. I'd go to work every day, and then I'd come home and sit in my recliner, and I'd cry and try to figure out how I could kill myself without it hurting my son. I tried pain pills and vodka, and all that did was make me sick. But the pain was still there. It was real. And I felt like I couldn't go on anymore. So on a Saturday morning in early February, I woke up and decided this is the day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna crash my car. Because in my disturbed thoughts, probably came from the enemy, I believed that my son would be able to handle this after just losing his dad. Like, what kind of thinking was that? But it was real, and that's where I was at in life. But little did I know, God was going to show me something that day. As I was driving on 17 towards Owego, I was crying to a God I knew was real. But I didn't know if he was listening or even knew me. As I drove, I felt like I kept repeatedly asking him if there was any hope for me. Could he heal this heart of mine? And I pleaded with him, please help me. Within minutes of driving, I became fixated on the clouds ahead of me. And I saw a 3 and a 1 and 6 in the clouds. And it was so bizarre to see those numbers because they weren't like your normal animal shapes you see when you're looking at clouds. I didn't know that day the significance of what that 316 in the clouds was. But this voice inside of me told me to get off the exit and go home. Not today, Margret. Because I had come in December after my husband died to the Christmas journey at New Life. I felt like I was being led to go to New Life. So the next morning on Sunday, I came to New Life. And I had this sense of calmness. And I felt like I could kind of do this. Whatever it was, I was going to try to do it. And I started to make connections with people. And I'd listen to the messages and they'd touch me. And I'd go home crying, but they weren't cries of despair anymore. They were of hope. And I'd look around and I'd see people. And I wanted what other people had, this loving relationship with Jesus. Weeks later, I realized after hearing a message that the cloud that 316 was meant to be seen. Like, who thinks Jesus is going to meet you on the highway and go into Wego? But now, I get to live a life of hope. And I have peace because Jesus rescued me that day. And there's no pain or trial that we're going to go through that God is not going to be right there with us. Even when we don't know it. He's just so perfect, even when we're lost and hopeless. I'm never going to stop being grateful to God's grace and the hope and love of Jesus. And I ask you, if there's anybody who's feeling hopeless and alone and just doesn't want to go on, please come talk to me or come talk to somebody, because you're worth it. Let Jesus save you like he saved me. Life is not going to be easy. It's still not easy for me. But because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.